Hey everyone, Shadow Rockets here, and on today's episode, I know it's back, it's been a long time, but I'm going to be talking about something that really caught my attention recently, and that is Anthem. So to start right into it, I don't want to waste any time. We get our first view of a robotic dinosaur, because Xbox needs a version of robotic dinosaurs and someone wearing funny glasses, and this first character who is our quest giver. Now I want to point out a few things about this. I'm not going to take the time to freeze frame on this or anything, but I like the hair on this character, and I like his facial expressions. Those are two things that I picked up on right away. The eyes could be much better, but visually the rest of him looks put together. He's a small build guy, seems like he runs some sort of work or business to where he needs to hire people to go out and do tasks or hunt for things, maybe a treasure hunter. We don't really know much about the storyline behind this. We do see, however, that there are many varieties of people, even people wearing these javelins, which they call them. But I'm going to take a second and freeze frame because I noticed this ally of the week, which looks like it must be a friend that you've done most missions with this week. They're level 43, and it looks like they have a boost to maybe a frost kind of damage or something. So I thought that was interesting. We kind of got a feel for the leveling scale. It seems like there's going to be at least 40 or so levels. We don't know how hard it will be to gain those levels, but we do know that they will be high. We see that we see the inside of our javelins here, and that is well cushioned and well protected. Looks like they're sealed off at the nighttime or when you're not using them. I'm thinking that due to the high ammo count that I noticed on the individuals, you might not be able to resupply your ammo while you're out and about, or maybe you have to find some sort of cache to resupply your ammo, or maybe there's resupply points. Anyway, we're introduced to the other or another variant of Javelin here as, what's his name, Paul, I think, drops in. And we're told by the announcer that you're going to get an array of javelins. Notice Paul is also a higher level, the lower level than we are, and it looks like has an increase to fire damage. Now, I want to point out this little logo here. It looks like a little Greek ruin with a mountain behind it. I'm going to assume this is a type of dungeon or puzzle or territory where you can get experience in some way, shape, or form, maybe a treasure hunt, or again, I say a dungeon. We noticed a flag kind of as we were diving as well. I believe that'll be either a race or maybe a capture point on the map. The map looks absolutely huge from where we're standing anyway, from where we're jetpacking, I suppose. So having many things to do, active maybe changing environments such as having factions that are constantly battling, like in World of Warcraft, the Alliance versus the Horde. There are sections where you're constantly battling for territories. I think that'll be implemented here. And we notice some wildlife running through the shrubs and whatnot, and we come across our first big beast. Now, we immediately see our ammo at the bottom of our screen, our health at the bottom right of the screen surrounding a little shield. But one thing I noticed is that we did not see the level of this beast, although they happen to know the level of this beast. I'm a little concerned about that, but I'm so drawn in by this point anyway that I'm rolling with it. And it looks like we are exploring and going underwater, doing all these amazing things. The jetpack immediately converted so that you could continue using it underwater. I'm hoping they do a ton with the underwater world, though I don't think they will do so much. Now, we're noticing that we are losing health. We see where the damage is incoming from on our HUD, which is wonderful. I think this is a beautiful way of showing you which direction your damage is coming from and maybe even a intensity of the damage. We're pointed to the Longfall Ruins, which is it's a ruin, and it's what I thought may be a dungeon or a puzzle area. Paul finds some treasure. Paul makes a snarky comment about this character needing more experience, even though this character is like level 43 or so, and Paul is way below that, so shut up, Paul. But we're given a little look or a glimpse at the massive world that's around us, although it seems pretty empty. I'm wondering if there's going to be patrols or large creatures, such as this one that we see absolutely exploding right now, which is incredible. Our massive robot dinosaur got taken down. The trees were taken down with it. We'll notice that there's a crater kind of around it. And when Paul shoots his mortar, I think I am completely and utterly mind blown. We're introduced to one of our main enemies here, and Paul just handles them. Of course, Paul is probably really high leveled, but he makes a sizable crater in the earth, which I love. Of course, it's doable because they're using the Frostbite engine, and Battlefront and whatnot and Battlefield are on this engine, and there's destructible environments, so I'm hoping they're bringing this in. We see our character using this rapid fire mortar because this character is not necessarily a tank, but kind of a good all-around character. And I'm going to freeze frame here, actually. So with regards to the Jera's Wrath or whatever, an item level 35 legendary Volt Rifle, which this character is well above level 35. She is level 43 or so. I want to kind of backtrack here while I'm frozen. Looks like that little shell that we had, the multiple shell target, could only target up to 12 things at once, which was fine. That is a lot of things to target. It did a sizable amount of damage, a wonderful amount of damage. I think that is fitting of a top tier or near max level character. Wonderful. Jera's Wrath or Jera's Wrath, I don't know how to pronounce it yet, is a legendary that dropped in the real world. That probably will not happen. Destiny showed us this happening too in a lot of the trailers, and we all know how that worked out. However, I will say that I absolutely adore that there are actual statistical numbers here. You get the rate of fire, the ammo, the range, the accuracy, and the damage. And as a statistically minded individual, this does half of my job for me. I don't have to go through the bars and calculate, oh, this is this percentage. It's not percentages anymore. These are absolute values, which is wonderful. I think this is perfect. This is a driving force of me getting back into YouTube. I expect statistical videos on these statistics. Statistical videos on the statistics. You know what I mean. I'm going to do in-depth videos on this stuff. Now, moving forward through this, I sat there for a while. I don't want to sit there too long. Our heroes progress through this environment. Paul takes off, and we see a cloud of dust kind of start forming. We fade to black, and now we're forming up a group. Now, this was a really quick way of forming a group. I kind of like how quick it seemed to be. They kind of dropped in from space or from above, or teleported in the Warlock-esque case. I'm going to use that term kind of lightly from Destiny. You get kind of another feel of the elements that each of these characters are good at or boost you with. Kind of a nice little round. There was electricity, fire, frost. I think there was a shield or something as well. So that'll probably be useful. I'm sure there'll be enemies that take more damage to some things than others. Get a nice view of a floating character rather than jetpacking character, kind of leading me to believe that there's not really space magic, but kind of space magic, kind of technology magic. And I suppose I'm going to freeze frame on this last little view as they jump into the storm, because I think this is incredible. I'm wondering if this is a portal to another world, or if this is a dungeon that they're jumping into, maybe an unstable rift that they have to jump into and collectively solve or fix, maybe a raid. There are so many opportunities. Anyway, friends, I think that this is going to be an amazing game. It has completely and utterly caught my attention. I'm drawn in. I don't know about y'all, but this seems just too good to be true almost. So it is coming out in 2018, so not 2017. I do expect to kick the snot out of Destiny. It's unfortunate because I really love Destiny 1, at least for the first month. I put in over 100 hours, and then after that it really fell off. I mean, because it was kind of a disappointment. And I know they fixed it at the very end, but I didn't want to invest that much money into it. So I'm hoping that they get this game right, because it looks absolutely stunning. It looks like everything I've ever wanted. They could slap Halo on the title and I'd be happy with it. Well, probably not, because Master Chief is bae. But I think that this will do just fine in my heart. And for now, this is what I'm going crazy about. I hope to analyze it in depth. I really hope that we get to see some character screens so you can kind of see the customizations available to us. I'm sure there's going to be a full armor and whatnot screen, kind of like Destiny, kind of like WoW. Hopefully a little bit better than Destiny. I really wasn't a fan of their armor and whatnot. I would like more variety, maybe deeper stats. It seems like there was more stats here to work with, so that is definitely a factor for me. Anyway, friends, I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned something. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Shadow Rockets out.